Evening everyone, welcome back to the channel. Now, before I go any further, first off I'd just like to say a big thanks to everyone that's, tuned into the first 2 or 3 videos and liked and subscribed and all of that. It's really appreciated. You're never quite sure how things are going to pan out when you put yourself out on YouTube, but I've been blown away with the response so far, so yeah, thanks very much everyone. Now, tonight we're at Devonquater, and I must confess I've already tried to film this vlog once. I ran into some pretty testing conditions the last time I was here. I'll just put a quick snippet on the screen now so you can see what I was up against. Alright, so I've had to turn around and walk away 50 yards in the other direction because I'm not bloody mad, to be honest. I'll just put them on the screen now. Now I'm guessing the tourists, they're not locals, and tents are getting set up and music's blaring. Now, I don't know what's wrong with people, to be honest. The advice is pretty simple: no overnight camping in the Lake District, and yet people just want to willfully disregard it all. And yeah, I'm pretty mad at the moment. Yeah, so yeah, it wasn't the best night. The conditions weren't great, to be honest, but that wasn't really the issue. The issue was more the idiots that were making life, because I wasn't so fussed where I was doing the filming from, but they were giving a hard time to a couple of other people, which really wasn't on. On the way back to the car, I took the registrations and they were reported, so hopefully they were moved on in the morning. Now I'm on a bit of a time crunch, so I'm going to get shifting down to the water. I'll tell you a little bit about the place on the way. Okay, so Devonquater. Now, first things first, I see a lot of photographers coming here and calling it, well, pronouncing it wrong, very poshly calling it Devonquater. Well, as a local, I'm here to tell you it's pronounced Devonquater. So now we've got that out the way. Yeah, just a little bit about the place. It's actually the biggest town in the Lake District. It sits on Burker Fell between the Duddon Valley and Eskdale. Really sort of remote, barren area. Fantastic place to come and photograph. It's only about a 20-minute drive for me, so I'm quite fortunate to have it so close by. It really tends to suit sort of moody, gritty weather. We haven't really got that tonight. It's a bit sort of sunny, but hopefully we can make the conditions work. Now, on the first couple of vlogs, my mate Billy Redden, who comes out for photography with me sometimes, I'll put a link to some of his work. He does some brilliant stuff when he gets the chance to do some photography away from his football. Now, he thinks that I've been losing my accent a little bit in these videos. Now, if you're watching this, Billy, just to clear it up, it's certainly not a conscious thing, and subconsciously I'm having to probably tone down the Mara accent, as it were, so people can understand me. So yeah, so it's not a conscious thing anyway. Now, the other thing that I'm noticing, which if you excuse my rambling for a minute, is 4K. There's absolutely no hiding place on 4K. I've noticed in the last couple of months that I've acquired a couple of badger stripes in my beard, which I'll be honest, I'm not that pleased about. I've come to terms with the fact over the last 5 or 6 years that I'm losing my hair, but this sudden appearance of white hairs in my beard hasn't really gone down so well. Caught me off guard a little bit, and these videos aren't helping. Now, my partner reckons I should just stick some Just for Men on it. I think she's taking the mick a bit. Now, I'm just walking up to the boathouse now. I'll just show you a bit of drone footage so you can see it a bit better. Now, where I'm going to be going for tonight's shoot is just over the other side of the water from the boathouse itself. I've got a shot lined up which I've tried a couple of times before and works pretty well. Now, the couple of weeks ago that I tried to do this vlog, the water was a little low, so it didn't work so well. But since then we've had a bit of rain, so hopefully the water levels will be a bit higher, and the composition that I've got in my head will work a little better. Just past another tent. What is wrong with people, honestly? It's not difficult, just no overnight camping. Alright, so of course I get down here and we find that the water levels aren't high enough, so plan A has had to be aborted, but not the end of the world. I've got a reasonable shot set up here. Now, the one I had planned, really, even though we've had a bit of rainfall lately, the water just simply isn't high enough. The rocks that form part of the foreground element that I had planned really need to be submerged a lot more than they are, so I've bit the bullet and come away from that, and I've tried to find something else. Now, blue and green at this time of the year, it's really a tough sort of colour palette to work with. It's why a lot of landscape photographers don't like shooting in the summer. But what I've done is I've found this little patch of rocks here. Now, hopefully they'll give me enough sort of sharp contrast from the rest of the scene that, it'll rescue this image a bit. I'm going to stick it out till sunset, because even though the light's a bit flat now, hopefully it might colour up a bit later. Okay, I'll have to be quick here because I'm getting absolutely eaten alive again by midges. I'll just walk you through what I've got set up here now. Pretty simple shot. I've got this nice sort of, well, it's quite a sharp contrast to the rest of the green and the blues in the scene here, this rock in the foreground. I'm at about f13, giving me plenty of depth of field. The one thing to be careful of here is to make sure that that line of the reflection on the boathouse is clear of the grass at the end of the water. It'd be very easy to just plonk the tripod down and end up having that boathouse touching the grass itself. About 50th of a second I'm bracketing in this because there's no real need to be shooting this with filters, to be perfectly honest, and the fact that I'm wiping myself every 5 seconds because of the midges, I don't want to be wiping everything else. So yeah, so no filters, just bracketing this, nice and simple. Now, I've took a couple of shots already where the light's been striking the foreground, and those look pretty good. I'm going to wait it out until sunset and see if we get any colour in the sky, but even if we don't, I think we've got a couple of nice pleasant images here. Alright, so I've just stepped away from that shot just for a moment because you can see behind me the water's really settling down quite nicely. Now, we don't really have an awful lot of colour in the sky yet. I'm reasonably hopeful. I mean, you've got to be positive, haven't you? We might get a sunset. But anyway, I stepped away from that shot just to shoot a couple of handheld efforts just on the edge of the shoreline here. Now, again, what I was talking about before is when you've got this sort of limited colour palette, you're really looking for anything that's going to sharply contrast with the rest of the scene. So I found a couple of sort of brightly coloured grasses there, and I've shot those handheld. Now, I think, to be honest with you, given the texture of the clouds and whatnot, I think they might work well in black and white. Right, I think I'm going to call this one a night. I don't think we're going to get that colourful sunset, but it's been a pretty nice evening, can't complain. Again, I'm getting a reputation here for shooting reflections all the time. Nothing wrong with shooting reflections. But yeah, it's been nice and calm. I mean, normally when I come up here, it's it's blowing a gale and it's really moody. But so it's been a nice change of pace tonight. The clouds have been really nice as well. Lovely streaky texture in them. But just haven't had the colour. Now, hopefully they might work actually quite good in black and white. Just in between that last segment, I actually went over to the other side again and I took a few more handhelds, so if any of them are any good, I'll post them up. Apologise for constantly scratching my head, it's these midges, horrendous. I also, you know that thing when you're getting out of bed and you sort of crick your neck and you think, if I just move it the other way I might be able to sort it out. I've just cricked my neck and it's absolutely butching, so I think I need to get home. But while I've got you, just a couple of quick updates as to what to expect in the sort of near future in terms of upcoming vlogs. I'm hoping to do a couple of videos which maybe go into a little more detail about what I do on a sort of day-to-day basis running a gallery on a high street, because it's easy to get seduced by the idea, especially on YouTube, of you know, looking at landscape photographers and thinking it's all sunshines and rainbows. It really isn't. It's a tough gig these days trying to make a living from landscape photography. So I want to get a bit more into that, you know, a little bit about the printing, a little bit about framing, not too exhaustive. I mean, you know, the focus will always be on landscape photography in the Lake District, but yeah, I thought hopefully you might find that a little interesting. And the other thing as well, I've got a couple of videos lined up with a couple of other photographers. I won't say who they are, but they both produce some, you know, really fantastic work, and yeah, hopefully I'll be able to get them out in the next, well, certainly next month or so, hopefully anyway. But for now, I just want to say again, big thanks to everyone who's liking and subscribing at the moment. It's really appreciated, and you know what to do. If you like the Lake District, give me a like or a subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one.